Welcome to the fourth video in our ELITE Method Toolkit tutorial series. In this video, I'm going to cover how to use the Stages of Change Matrix tool for step 3, Implement. It's important that you've done step 1, Examine, and step 2, Learn, before getting to this point, because everything builds on what you did in the step prior. So if you haven't yet watched the first 3 videos, go ahead and do that now. You can find a link to the full playlist of tutorial videos in the description below and in the PDF guide you receive via email. Now, going over to our Stages of Change matrix, we're focusing here on rows 18 through 24. This is the implement stage. This is where you build out your demand generation strategy based on the 4 pillars of marketing. Now let's talk about the 4 pillars of marketing for a minute. How do most marketers approach campaigns? Typically they think, let's run some LinkedIn ads. And then they wonder, so what message is going to land on LinkedIn? Let's think about that for a bit. Essentially, they're doing it backwards. When you start with the mechanism first, your marketing crumbles. At Cornell, we approach marketing through 4 key pillars: motivation, method, message, and mechanism, in that order. Most businesses make the mistake of jumping straight to the mechanism, the tactics like ads, social media, or email campaigns. But here's the truth. Your mechanism is only as effective as the psychology driving it. And that's why we start with the motivation, method, and message before we ever discuss tactics. So let's talk about motivation, which is twofold. First, what's the motivation that your prospect has at each stage of change throughout the journey? What do they want? What's motivating them? What's driving them? Second, what's your business objective? What's your motivation for marketing to them at this stage of change? Too often, companies use bottom funnel motivations like conversion at the top of the funnel, which results in failure. For example, as you'll see later in the content library tool, the stages of change line up perfectly with the stages of the sales funnel. And if you're using conversion-oriented motivation too early in the stages of change, you're going to turn them off. Instead, at these earlier stages, your motivation should be to educate them, to be the one that gives them the answer to the question they're typing into Google, to capture their attention at an event, or to capture their contact information so you can nurture them. Next, let's talk about method. Method is a bit tricky. A lot of marketers use manipulative methods like FOMO, peer pressure, or the bait and switch. Real marketing builds trust, not resentment. And the best marketing makes people feel good. Your method is your campaign objective, such as to educate, to inform, to make someone aware of hidden costs or how much the problem that you can solve is actually costing them. There may be multiple campaign objectives, or there could be just one. Your campaign objective should always be either altruistic or symbiotic, never selfish. Next, you need to look at your message. Marketing is a dialogue. Instead of focusing on what you want to say, focus on what your audience needs to hear. Focus on how their thoughts will affect their emotions, which will affect their behaviors. This is where you can come up with ideas for campaigns, content, and resources that you can create. You can also tap into existing content that you already have by referencing your content audit and listing out your existing assets in your stages of change matrix under the appropriate stage of change. And lastly, your mechanism. It's only after we've established the motivation, method, and message that we select the right mechanisms to reach your audience where they're most receptive. And it's really important that you think about this step independent of everything that you've filled in above it. Where and how you reach your target person based on where they are in their particular stage of change is incredibly important so that you're not wasting time, energy, money, and valuable resources trying to reach people where they're either not open to hearing from you or where they just aren't. So take your time filling out this section. This is the implement stage of the ELITE method. And once it's complete, it becomes your to-do list of your psychology-driven marketing strategy. Think about what you're going to build and how you're going to build that bridge. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to use the content library tool for step 3, implement. Remember, I'm walking you through our ELITE method, and it's important that you follow the steps in order. ELITE, examine, learn, implement, transform, enhance. Subscribe to the playlist in the description below to make sure you get all of the tutorial videos so I can help you build your psychology-driven marketing strategy every step of the way.